welcome to the special edition of Own It Magazine and Publishing, where we're celebrating women, where we are in a world of authenticity. We are owning it in our authority. We are making influence, and we are building legacies. Taking center stage and owning it with me. First up is the woman of my life. I love this woman. I love her. Dr. Hattie Washington is in the house with us. Oh my God, Dr. Hattie, I am so blessed to have you on and just celebrating and honoring you. Really excited about you going to be here in the Dominican Republic real soon. So I'm excited about that. We have a full lineup of women: Dr. Wyoming Paris, Dr. Stephanie Reed.
Hi, Wyoming. Oh my goodness.
Terry Walker, Courtney Clark. We are all in the house. Welcome, ladies. Oh, what are we doing on a Friday night? Celebrating one another. Oh my God, it's amazing. And so, ladies, we're going to start off with a small introduction of ourselves and getting warmed up for this needed conversation about women celebrating women. And so Own It is really focused this year, just really excited about women, the sisterhood, all of the connections we've been making along the years. We're celebrating 5 years, and we just really, really want to showcase our women specifically this year. And so, Dr. Washington, you are not a stranger. This is home for you on the Own It platform. So say a little hello to everybody. Let them know who you are.
Hello, everybody. Good to see some of you again that I met before. It's just a pleasure. Thank you, Marissa, for this opportunity.
Oh, this is awesome. And so, Dr.
I blanked out a little bit, Marissa. Were you speaking to me?
No, Dr. Reed, will you say hello? Introduce yourself.
Hello. So I was obedient when you said mute, so I muted myself. So hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Dr. Stephanie Reed, the founder of Your Healing Place, a trailblazer in naturopathic medicine for women over 40. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we are so honored and so excited to have you with us. Dr. Paris, will you introduce yourself? Can you get off mute? Are you able to introduce yourself, Dr. Paris? Wyoming? All right, Terry, go ahead and introduce yourself. We'll circle back around.
Hey, everyone, and I am so grateful to be here on the Own It platform with all of these wonderful women. And my name is Terry J. Walker, and I am an international speaker, corporate trainer, author, and coach. And so happy to be here with all of you tonight.
Oh my God. And Terry, you like many of me and the other women here on the platform have our background conversations in regards to just loving one another and supporting one another in all that we're doing, and how it's important for us to be able to support one another and really show up. And that's what this is really about. Okay, Courtney, I need you to introduce yourself.
Hi, ladies. I'm so happy to be here for this wonderful opportunity. I am a professional life coach. I am a published author, and I am a contributing writer to Own It magazine, as well as Unmasked Healing magazine.
Very good.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Wyoming.
Am I next?
Yes, please introduce yourself.
Marissa, I'm trying to see if you can hear me because I'm at the airport, so I don't know if you can hear me or not.
No,
we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, good, because I'm kind of having some interruptions here. But I'll go next. Hello, everyone. Hello, my sisters. Happy Friday. I am Dr. Wyoming, and I am an entertainer, an author, a singer, a co-host of a TV, a talk show that I have with Four Sisters Live. I'm an all-around girl. I just love having fun. I'm getting ready to get on this plane, so I'm just gonna be talking, just to be talking.
Where you going? Look, we're gonna be all up in the
Conference
business.
in DC,
Right.
the DC Black Broadway. You all should know about DC Black Broadway. We do all productions in and out of DC, and hey, we get ready to expand this thing abroad. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Awesome.
Enjoying life
Where
in
you
DC
headed?
Black Broadway and having fun with my Four Sisters Live, with the Sister for Sisters Network.
Where are
And
you
I am
headed?
so honored. Let me just say this. I'm honored to be a part and amongst such beautiful sisters. It is such a great opportunity. Thank you so much, Marissa, for being a part of Own It magazine and being on the cover. So I'm super excited. And that's all I can say. God is good.
Yes, he is. Now, where are you going? we're not letting that go. Where are you going?
Can you hear?
I don't think you can hear us.
No, I don't think you
I
can.
can't hear. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, where are you
I
going?
can't hear Marissa.
Where you
Sign language.
I
where are
can't
you
hear.
going? No, she can't hear. Okay, she can't
I
hear.
can hear Dr. Maddie.
Okay, so ask her.
Dr. Matt, where are you going?
Yeah, that's what we want to know.
Where am I going?
Yeah.
I headed out to Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, awesome. Good.
Beautiful.
Headed out to Memphis, Tennessee. DC Black Broadway, we are again, as I say, we're expanding abroad, and this is one of our first opportunities to open up the DC Black Broadway in Memphis. So it's going to be Memphis Black Broadway, and there will be an auditions tomorrow for an upcoming production coming up real soon out there. So I'm flying out to be a part of the audition.
Wow.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Great.
That is amazing. It's so
Can you hear me, Wyoming?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. If everyone do testing, then I'll know if I'm just not alone.
Testing, testing.
Okay, I can hear someone else.
Courtney.
okay. All right. Dr. Hattie, will you let her know to mute her phone? It will not let me mute her. And
Yeah,
you can
mute
hear
your
the
phone. Mute your phone because it's a background noise.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Okay.
So this is amazing. It's awesome that she's expanding. And that's another thing that we want to do. We want to make sure that we're supporting one another and really showing up. And so, ladies, you were asking when we were backstage. So now you should be able to share because we are now live on my page. So you should be able to share away. But I want to dive into the conversation. And I want to talk about the authority. Own It's platform is all about it's your life, it's your career, it's your business. Own it. We're not saying that to be controversial. We're saying that to be conscious and to take authority and control over where our life, our career, or our business is going. And so you've been nominated. You're being honored for walking in your leadership role in the areas of being, owning your authority, walking in authenticity with the intent of being influential and blessing and transforming other people's lives to being a positive impact on their lives, and then leaving a legacy. And Dr. Washington, you're going to head us off because, when we look at all that you've accomplished, my gosh, if you're not I want to say it like this, poster child for legacy. I can't say it enough. So share with our audience, how all of that culminates and comes together, walking in your authority, what that authority means, walking in authenticity, never losing out on who you really are in this world, and how that influenced and created the legacy that you have built over these years.
How many? What, about 5 minutes or 2 minutes?
You need a whole hour to a day. I could just sit and listen.
Just because we got so many beautiful women here, I just want to be conscious of the time.
Yeah, so give it about a good 5 minutes. Go ahead and give it to us.
In thinking of the legacy, I was born, my mother died when I was 3. And so I was a foster kid. and with no help, no support during any of my education. So my foster mother never came out to any PTA meetings, nothing. So you had to be self-motivated. And that's why I teach my kids, my own kids, how to be self-motivated. I didn't miss a PTA meeting. I didn't miss any performance any of my grandkids or my daughters were in, because it was very hurtful to look out in the audience and all the other kids had parents there saying, wow, great job. Oh, and I didn't have anybody. So I had to build up that facade of self-motivation and self-praise. And that's what I teach people. Don't wait for anyone to discover you. Don't wait for anyone to say, good job. You look in the mirror and say, good job to yourself. So the legacy, I was the first person in my family to finish, to go to college. And then I was the first person in the family to have a daughter who's a physician and another daughter is an attorney because of the parental involvement. So the legacy in the family. And ever since then, we got cousins and nephews and other people now think they can do it too. And they've gone to college. But I was the first one in the family to go to college with no support. And if you read my book, Driven to Succeed, you read about the challenges that I went through by myself and the auditors to get where I am. And now in terms of authority, I don't know if many of you know, I was the first female vice president of Compton State University. In the whole 100 years history, I was the first female vice president, and there were 5 other vice presidents. So you have to continuously prove yourself. And people want to know, well, who do you know? You must be some kin to the governor or the mayor, or you must know somebody. But I think my authenticity was always knowing who I was, always be centered and ground in terms of who I was. I remember when I got my PhD, the first in the family, and my cousin came to my ceremony. He said, "Don't think we're going to call you Dr. Washington. We're going to call you Dr. Sister." That was my nickname, Sister. He said, "We're going to be calling you Dr. Sister." And so family will keep you humble. They'll keep you grounded. And so when people say, "Oh, wow, you're so humble," I'm from the country where we grew up in the country where chickens and hogs and pigs and walking and you have chicken mess in between your toes and so on. So how can you not be humble when you're from a humble background? So if you get higher than yourself, then you're not authentic. So those are some of the things that I feel. In terms of influence, I raised over 100 foster boys in 22 years because I had an affinity for foster boys when I was assistant superintendent of schools. Any foster kid in my school system, I want to know them. And when they disappear, I want to know, where are my kids? They say, "Oh, he's in another foster home," or "He's in another group home." And I met with the mayor and the juvenile judge. I said, "Every place my kids go, I want you to bring them back to my school system. Even if they send them in a taxi, send them on, I want them back." And they said, "Oh, that's a good idea." So I started that program. I want all my foster kids coming back to because I want to have my hands on them so they know that they're loved and they're cared for, and you're not going to disappear. And that propelled me to open up a foster boys home, and it's called Aunt Hattie's Place. And for 22 years, we raised in Wyoming, and the whole Sisters for Sisters group, they didn't miss an activity. The whole group was always there for all of my activities. So I'll just stop there, and then I can come back later.
Yeah, she can, because she needs to tell you how she got into college.
Yeah.
Because that's a good one. And you know, I'm going to tell you, I just was really blessed with this couple. They come to the DR for a period of time, and you can never get enough of hearing the story over and over and over again. And the reason why this is valuable, because if you're paying attention and you're listening, you find out something new that you didn't capture, especially with someone like you, Dr. Washington, is that you're like, oh my God, because listening to it the first time, you don't have all the pieces. You don't have everything. But when you listen to the story over and over again, it's just like, oh my God, I didn't hear her when she said that the last time. You start putting something together, and it's such an appreciation for your wealth of wisdom and groundedness. And so it's every woman on this platform right now. It is an honor to honor you. Mm-hmm. It is an honor to honor you. It just brings my heart pleasure and treasure to be able to take this opportunity to celebrate all that you've done and how you've laid down your life and sacrificed for so many. That's what we do as women, as nurturers. We sacrifice. Yeah. If it's not a sacrifice to us, it's just nature. It's just our natural wiring and being, and it's so amazing. And so I love it, and I want them to hear that part, because it takes the audacity and then the tenacity to get what you got done. And I want them to be able to hear that part. And so I'm going to segue over to Dr. Reed, who just, she's the master of telling you, exactly who she is and how you can work with her. So I sit back and say, I don't sound like her. She has this thing nailed. And so, Dr. Reed, do what you do best. Tell them what you do. You gotta come off mute, mama. We all do it.
I'm obedient with the mute thing. I get it. I just have to say, Dr. Hattie, you have inspired me all over again. I am not inspired often because I am my own inspiration, and I'm sure you understand what that means.
Yes.
I'd like to also say congratulations to everyone on this panel, because you would not be here unless you are doing something to impact not just your community, but the world, right? Our reach is global. And so I start my little 5 minutes by saying, thank you, Mom. Right. I had a conversation with my mother yesterday. Oh. I probably haven't said this to her in a while, but my story is it's ununique, but it's very special to me. And I honor and I humbly say, my mom had me when she was 15. Right. And her tenacity for greatness and excellence actually turned the tide of the stereotype of what I could have, would have, should have been.
Yes.
So it wasn't easy. We struggled. There were some challenges, but her energy gave me still the power to rise up through the weeds of our existence and stand and have her say, I am so proud of you. She said that to me yesterday. So I am the first person in my family to go to college. I'm also the first person to get a PhD. I'm also the first person who's a published author. I'm also the first person who has lived overseas in different countries. I'm the first person who's written books. I'm the first person that's been self-employed for 20 years and have never been able to look back. Thank you, Mom. Because even though my mom had to do what she needed to do to get me here, she propelled me. And my greatest achievement is being the mother of 3 productive, professional people in society, and now 2 grandchildren and a granddaughter. So thank you, Mom. We don't do that enough because we think, and even I thought, oh my gosh, my mom gets on my last flipping nerve. Can't tell me nothing because we learning and growing together. But as I listened to our conversation yesterday, I heard a quiet, gentle wisdom that I never heard before. And when it popped out, it kind of washed over me, in all of the things that created friction between us has dissipated, because now I understand as a mother, and I understand now as a grandmother. And that's what she said. We can have this conversation because we're both mothers and both grandmothers. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I am the powerhouse naturopath that was in my profession when people thought I was a quack. And now people are seeking me all over the world. As a matter of fact, next week I'll be in Seoul, South Korea for 7 days presenting to a Korean Japanese organization, right?
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Right. And
Beautiful.
tomorrow I'll be speaking to that group, a segment of that group tomorrow here in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii. So to bring it home, our origins may feel uncomfortable at the time that we're in them, but it's that very moment when you realize that you can extract the wisdom and leave the pain behind, that you can propel yourself to be the woman that God has called you to be. And that's what I do. I help women get healthy, so they can become spiritually and emotionally wealthy, so they can extract the wisdom, dive into their purpose, not live the second half of their life nursing illnesses, so they can do the job that God has called them to do to fulfill their purpose.
Amen.
And until we're well as a women, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, we cannot do what thus saith the Lord. And at the end of the day, only what we'll do for him is going to last anyway, so we might as well get in line and be in alignment. That's who I am. And thank you so much for honoring me today.
Oh, absolutely, sis. Absolutely. She's on with us. I
Yes,
don't know, Monday,
yes.
Tuesday. She comes in every now and then on a Thursday, but she is one of our contributing writers. And what a powerhouse. And, just influencing women to take authority over their lives and to take control over their lives, as opposed to just walking through it happenstance, as we say it. And so, I always say, Dr. Reed, get in alignment with your life's assignment. Right?
I need to add one more thing. Dr. Wyoming left, but girl, you don't know that I'm a singer and an actress. Holla.
Yeah, listen.
I'm an audition.
No, we gotta hook up there. You gotta check me out and come on, girl. Hit me up now. Come on. Don't
All right,
sit
we got to put you in there.
Yeah.
Songwriter and actress. Got it all.
Great. Make sure let's get together, all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Make it happen. Make it happen. You gotta send her your video.
Yeah,
Dr. Reed,
absolutely.
you gotta send her your video and your songs. And that's what this is all about, right?
Yes.
It's about connecting because we're expanding, and it's about divine appointment and being prepared. And if a sister is not prepared, help her. Don't turn her away and say you ain't prepared.
Yeah.
Help her, because sometimes we don't know how to get to that prepared place if somebody doesn't take the time to show us. And so that's important. And so this ain't about me, because y'all all know I can go in. This is about you guys. And so, Terry, come on, sister. Let them see your sister soul. Come on in here. And Tiffany is watching. She says, "Hey, ladies, TNT." What's up?
That's my sister right there. Tiff and Terry. That's what the TNT stands for. I absolutely love it. But thank you so much for letting me be here. And Dr. Reed, I got to get to know you. I'm loving it. But let that wisdom shine through, and then bring out that authenticity and that alignment. I absolutely love it. And, that's kind of been my past journey. I grew up and everybody wanted me to just climb the corporate ladder, get higher, get higher, get higher. And, I worked with children and adolescents in mental health and ran residential treatment centers and things like that. And then I went into medical sales and service. And then I finally, but it takes almost losing everything that you've got. And pretty much that's what I did. I wrote my book, The Resume of Life, and that kind of set me on the path of spiritual awareness and becoming consciously aware and things like that. And today, after going through a great deal of losses and things like that with my parents and then my partner, it has pulled me together to figure out a way to pull out of that grief. And gratitude was probably my greatest saving point. And today, now, I teach on resilience, overcoming change, fear, limiting beliefs. I have my show, the I Am Power Hour, and we help people all over the world. I'm doing international speaking. I'm doing international corporate trainings, and I am getting so much back by helping so many others. But I used to say, I have something to say, but I'm not real sure what it is because I thought everybody knew, what I knew. But
Mm-hmm.
what I found out is they didn't. And so now today I have expanded upon that, and I do a lot of mental health awareness. I do a lot of diversity, equity, inclusion, a lot of unconscious bias. I have a lot of things going on, and it's just seeming to grow bigger and bigger. And I am so very grateful. But, having to pull through those losses and getting to the point where it's like, I have nothing else to lose, but I have everything to gain. And
Mm-hmm.
getting in that alignment and bringing in that energy and learning to grow within myself has probably been the greatest thing I've ever done for me. And today, my whole mission in life is to help others grow to their greatest, truest, highest, and best self. So that's what I do.
Beautiful.
Awesome. That is so beautiful.
Beautiful.
So, and we love you for it. She's got that bridging the gap.
Got that too, Bridging the Gap, which is a course for parents and educators for the social and emotional health and well-being of our children. And the good Lord knows we need that now more than ever.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Our society is a product of the children that we raise.
Mm. I have a question, may I? Terry, do you have any pushback with your DEI program
Yes.
from any of your corporations or contracts that you had
Yes,
before?
we had a lot of pushback, but there are still those out there that really are trying to forge ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is diverse, and
Yeah,
everything is, we want to bring people to where they feel welcome, to where they
right.
feel safe. And even in all of my trainings, I talk about everyone, no matter who they are, has unique skills and abilities. And everyone, as a dear friend of mine told me one time, brings a piece of the puzzle to the table to create a glorious picture. So
Yeah.
we need to bring people together. The
Yes.
one thing we have in common is humanity. And with that being said, are we being kind, respectful, and caring to everyone? And even as I wrote in my book, The Resume of Life, um, there is something that we can learn, there is something we can teach, and there is something we can share with everyone we meet.
Regardless to the culture, the color.
That is so amazing. I didn't realize, Terry, that you wrote the book, The Resume of Life. So I'll make sure I get my copy. I got it.
What was it again? What was it? What was the
It's
name?
called The Resume of Life.
The Resume of Life.
Yeah. The Resume of Life, and the subtitles Becoming Consciously Aware Through Spirit, Mind, and Body. And I'm being pushed, and it's going to come, and I'm going to go ahead and say it here, so you get to hear it first. Probably in the next couple of months, I'm working on The Resume of Life 2, subtitled Going Home. And so with that being said, we're getting ready to prepare to start working on that as well.
Oh,
Beautiful.
awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow.
Awesome. That's excellent. So you got to make us aware when you're getting ready
Yes.
to launch and all that other stuff so we can just support you.
Yes,
Support.
absolutely.
Yeah, I will definitely drop the link for that in this chat. I'll drop the link for the book so people know how to get it. And they can purchase it as well. And so
Mhm.
I just love it. The rest of the Resume of Life, really love that. And I did not. I'm so focused on you and BTG. I'm always like, Terry, we got to get together for BTG because Own It has its Bridging the Gap, strategizing for student success, and we focus on youth leadership development. Awakening the leader within our young people, teaching them how to lead themselves, and they will ultimately and effectively lead others. And so, excellent. Moving right on over here to Courtney, the sweet storm, because she has such a sweet spirit, but she is a powerhouse. So, Courtney, introduce yourself.
So, I can relate to each and every one of you ladies. I can honestly say that everything that you guys shared, I've experienced some of that. Not necessarily in detail, but just similar situations, the mindset, the way y'all carry yourselves and things like that. Let me first of all say, I feel that to be able to walk in authority is to take charge of your life, to accept where you are in life, to accept yourself and still choose to love yourself in spite of, not playing the victim role. Um, we can only do that for so long, but at what point are you going to become your own
Mm-hmm.
main character? You know, being the main character of your life. You are the only person that can do that. After going through a devastating relationship, financial stagnation, and just things like that, it was almost like God forced me to make a change. And that's when I started walking in my power. I started healing. I started sitting with myself, you know, started learning myself. I didn't know who I was. I knew who other people wanted me to be and who other people thought I should be. And those are the norms that I gave myself. And I had to break free from that. So I started learning myself. I started healing, you know, praying more, spending more time with God, and being authentic. Just being authentic. Being authentic means to be who you are in spite of what others think, in spite of what others say, whether it's something good about you or whether it's something bad about you, but you being able to accept those things about yourself and not allowing people to make you feel bad or ashamed or embarrassed. And I say all the time, I don't care what I've been through. Can't nobody embarrass me about nothing that I've been through. Baby, I walked through the fire. Do you hear me? And came out and didn't get burned. Still
All
standing.
right.
And
You're
it didn't make me bitter, it made me better. um Legacy, freedom, rest, time, travel, those are the things that I've been praying and asking God for. Those are the things that I want for my life. I watched my mom struggle, you know, growing up, paycheck to paycheck. So finances was always something that, you know, we struggle with, you know, really throughout my whole family. Like that was something we always struggled with. And I wanted to break that norm. I am going to break that norm. I'm a single mother to a 16-year-old son, you
all
know,
right.
so just, you know, him being able to see me go through some of the things that I've been through and just still bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, I'm an inspiration to my son. That's when I leave this world, that's one thing he'll be able to say. I'll watch my mama fall and get right back up. She didn't
Mm-hmm.
allow anything to break her or make her stay down. Her
Beautiful.
crown tilted, but she always straightened it.
Mm.
And not only that, I'm gonna straighten your crown too. The woman that's standing beside me, that's sitting beside me, I see your crown tilted. I'm gonna straighten your crown too. I'm gonna help you before I hurt you. It's so many women in the world. Um, they don't really know. Like I don't blame them, even though you have to take responsibility for your own life. But a lot of times we do what we can with what we know, with what we have. If we haven't been shown or we haven't been taught, we can't do it. You can only do what you know. Even when it comes to our parents, you got a lot of adults right now that's mad about their parents about things that they did when they were little, things they did or didn't do. Your parent only did what they knew to do, what they knew how to do. And I always forgive them. Let that go. They gave you what all they had to give. So we can no longer make excuses for what our parents did or didn't do. Your parent can't live your life for you now. So it's time for you to take charge. It's time for you to take center stage. You know, and so I rest in that. I rest in that. I'm a woman of empowerment, and not just a woman of empowerment. I represent all women, but at the same time, I'm starting to implement things for the men as well because I am a boy mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't leave him out. So, you know, I represent for both the men and the women. I advocate for them to seek healing. With my life coaching business, my niche is self-love, healing, spirituality, authenticity, goal setting, strategic planning, being able to be organized, setting goals for yourself, giving yourself a timeline. Because you say you want to do this in 5 years, you're saying the same thing because you haven't put a time limit on it. And that's the challenge that you have to give yourself. Put a time limit. Not I want to do this by then. I'm going to do this. You got to speak it and you got to believe it. Manifesting is everything. The words you speak out of your mouth are everything. You can speak life or you can speak death. And so those are the things that I navigate, I advocate for in my business, to my friends, to my family, breaking generational curses. I'm a life insurance agent now, credit repair, life coach, tax consultant. I'm getting ready to add travel consultant to it as well. I graduate May 2nd with my master's in psychology. So, a lot of people may say, oh, you doing too much. No, baby, I'm not doing enough. And I stand on that. And so I'm building a legacy. I'm breaking generational curses. I'm doing the very thing that my mom couldn't do, that my daddy couldn't do, that their parents couldn't do. So I'm setting things up for my son, for his children, for their children. When I'm long gone, everything that I started is going to be back here for them. So that's really my motivation. That's where I'm at. And I absolutely love you ladies and everything that y'all doing. Y'all are an inspiration. Like y'all have encouraged me so much from being on this call. So yeah.
Listen, you gotta be in the room where it's happening, honey.
Right.
So isn't she such a sweet spirit? I just love Courtney. Just love her resilience. I've been able to see it firsthand. That she comes back and there's no, listen, she comes out unscathed. She comes out unscathed, and it's beautiful to behold. And just like she said, not playing the victim role. She's like, I'm ready to rock and roll. And it's like, okay, then let's rock and roll.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. So you said some things, Courtney, that I always say this when we're live, when we're having these discussions. I'm the same way on screen as I am off screen, in having these serious conversations, because the reason why so many are in identity crisis is because they don't take the time to do the assessing, right? They don't do this time. They don't take the time to do the introspective work. Introspective work is just really self-examining, going inside and saying, who am I? What am I about? We talk things and we learn skills and we're trained on our jobs, but we don't understand that there can be a spillover effect. And that spillover effect is taking every skill set, every methodology, every approach, every process, and taking it and applying it to our lives. And so I began many, many years ago talking about the SWOT analysis. When I came across it in corporate, I said, oh my God, we need to do the SWOT analysis for ourselves. We need to know what our strengths are, our weaknesses. And weaknesses is not something that's bad. It's just
areas of improvement.
We just need to know that they exist so that we know how to deal with them. So weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Understanding your core values. What makes you tick and what ticks you off? These are the conversations that we not only need to be having amongst the adults, but we need to start having those conversations with our young people to make them more conscious, as Walker said. She said, consciousness, no longer being unconscious, but being awake into the reality of who you really are. Because when you know who you are, you won't be swayed every different direction. You will have a standard by which you judge your choices. And is this for me or not for me? Is this in alignment with my life's assignment? The sooner that we get young people learning that, and we're proactive, not reactive, then we can start building those legacies, making that influence, and making lasting change. And so I want to take a moment because I done did some work in the background. See, I like my daddy. My daddy done gave me some skills, and I want to share them, and I want to celebrate you guys. So some of you guys are on the front end of this, and then some of you on the back. So if we are the sisters that we say we are, and we know who we are. We got our swagger tight. We confident and sexy. We don't got to worry about shade or being in the sun or in the light. We are bright diamonds. So we're going to take a minute, and I want to just showcase some of you in this clip. They look so beautiful. You guys look so incredible. You look so amazing. And what's beautiful is that that's not on the outside, that's on the inside. We're looking at all of that beauty just overflowing on the inside. And I just wanted to have a moment. I said, let me share this with them so they can see it. You can all have a copy of this once I'm finally done with it. You know, I'll get a copy of it, cut it up, do your reels, whatever you want to do with it. It's my love and my gift to you. And so I want to pivot. I want you, Dr. Washington, to share a little bit, because in order for us to do what Courtney says is we got to have that audacity and tenacity. And you had that many years ago. You had that. You said, I'm not going to accept this. You went without having any support. And I talk about that because, Courtney, you picked up on something. Today's adults are so busy in the blame game that they're not taking accountability and they're not owning it. And then they're wondering why they're living unfulfilled lives. They're feeling low. And a part of that is because they're not taking ownership. I feel the same way where my mom and my dad, had they known what kind of child they had, I think that they would have did things differently. But I don't hold that against them. I recognize that they only had what they could give, right? And there wasn't someone to come and inject into them. If you two stop paying attention to you two and start paying attention to your kids and start really pouring into them the way that they need to be poured into, they didn't have that. They didn't have that awakening. And so it has to take a generation that says, or an individual who says, listen, I'm not going to go that path. I'm not going to worry about what somebody did or did not do for me. I'm going to forge my way forward. And Dr. Washington, you did that. So could you explain so other people could do it?
But first, I want to say something about Wyoming, who's just a jewel of a person. I was so pleased when I saw her name here. I said, yes, because she and the whole Sisters for Sisters network group, I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's a powerhouse of women, and Peggy Morris. And so they always been supportive of me and my foster boys home. So I just want to say to you publicly, Wyoming, I thank you so much for all you've done, and well deserved.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And look, Courtney, I'm gonna call little Courtney because even though she's young, she has an old soul. I mean, she talks like someone 50 with that wisdom. And I'd love to see young women have that wisdom and the direction where they're going in life. And that's one of my ministries, is to help young women in my life that I know, friends and churches and so on, to propel to be all that they can be. Don't just say, oh, Dr. Washington, I admire you so much. I really admire you. Okay, come, let me be your mentor so that I can help you. So in order to be successful, you're not really successful till you give back and help someone else to accomplish the things that you've done, so they don't have to go through all the pitfalls, and they don't need to be a trailblazer. So I just love what you said. And of course, Stephanie, Dr. Stephanie and Terry, it's just a beautiful team already, Mother Rissa, that you put together. But getting back to the question, I didn't say to you that the reason I became a foster kid, my mother died when I was 3, I told you that. And my father remarried, and we lived in the country. And then they closed the schools down in 1959 because they didn't want to integrate the schools. You've heard of the Brown versus Board of Education. Well, as a result of that mandate to integrate the schools, Prince Edward County in Virginia decided that they're going to close the schools. So my 2-room schoolhouse and all the schools in Prince Edward County were closed. So my father sent me to Norfolk to stay with an aunt that I didn't know, never met. And she wouldn't take me until I became a ward of the state because she wanted to get paid. And so that's how I became a foster kid. And then she didn't come out to anything in school, just wanted to check and so on. So that was just a very difficult time for me from age 11 all the way through middle school and high school, no support whatsoever. And you know what was so interesting? I was in high school, I was an honor roll student. But because my parents or my aunt never came out to any activities, nobody got me ready for college. They just assumed I wasn't going to college. So they didn't get me ready, didn't tell me I need to apply. They just didn't do it. And I didn't know what I didn't know until that September. I got off the bus at Norfolk State. Now, I used to pass Norfolk State every day going to Booker T. Washington High School. And I said to myself, I'm going there one day. That's what I said. But I didn't know all the ins and outs. So I got off the bus in September, walked in the administration building, and I said to the receptionist, I said, I'm looking for my homeroom. She said, excuse me? I said, I'm looking for my homeroom. I'm planning to go here. So I don't know where my homeroom is. Could you tell me where my homeroom is? So she said, have you been admitted? And I just looked because I didn't know what she meant. You know, first in the family go to college, and I looked strange. So she said, have you applied? And I still looked like a deer in the headlights, like, you know, you don't have to apply in high school, you just go. And so being a first generation, most HBCUs know about first generation kids. So she knew that I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So she took me down to the hall and she said, this young lady was looking for a homeroom. She wants to go here, but I don't think she has applied. And so they gave me the form to fill out. And so I filled the form out. And then you had to get your parents to sign the form for get money because I didn't know you had to pay. You mean I got to pay? so have your parents to fill this form out and bring it back, and we'll see if you qualify for the National Defense Loan. And so I took it to my aunt, and she looked at it. She said, I'm not filling this out. I don't want people knowing my business. And I'm thinking, well, what kind of business do you don't want people to know? Found out later, you know, what kind of business. But anyway, so I took it back with tears in my eyes, and I said, you know, my aunt won't fill it out. She said, well, you'll be 18 in October. That's my birthday. So she said, so you'll be 18. We'll declare you independent. So you can fill the forms out and sign them yourself. So that's what I did. But it's so funny. All through my years at Norfolk State, everybody found out about this story. And you have people coming up to me, different professors. You need any help? How you doing? If you need anything, come to my office. You know, I'm such and so. And so when I graduated, I had so many of my professors and friends just right there pulling for me. You know, people pull for you when you're trying. Now, this little girl over here, not knowing that she had to apply, and she's in here by herself, and nobody's signing for her. So it was just very, very challenges to be able to go through all of that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what a blessing, because look at what you did. Imagine if you would have, and this is key. This is timeless, because this is key. You could have chosen to just go quietly into the night.
Yeah.
and just say, I'm not going to do my college. And all, 100 kids would have never known you, and 100 kids would not. That's why we have to understand that when we're talking about legacy, when we're talking about influence, it shifts from us. When I talked at the top about sacrifice, it's not about us at a certain point, because we're okay. We know who we are. Mm-hmm. We know that, we're confident. We know our identity. We know that. But women celebrating women is about helping the women who don't know, who just need that extra kind word, not you getting smart with your mouth and sarcastic with your mouth, because that's not beneficial. Beneficial is when we say, how can we help? How can I help you get to the next? And sometimes we gotta help one another in spite of. We gotta love you. We gotta love you when you ain't getting it.
Marissa, I don't know if I ever told you this. My mother died when she was 29, when I was 3. So I never thought I would live past 29. So when I decided to open up a foster boys home, I cashed in my retirement to open up the foster boys home, because I didn't think I was going to live to use my retirement anyway. And I'm 78 now, and I'm thinking, oh my Lord, I can't. The Lord has just blessed me to just raise these 100 beautiful, beautiful young men, and just from special ed, behavior problems, you name it, and they all colors, black, white, mixed kids, some from Africa, and they get along just like brothers, and they call each other, protect each other. Once a month, I have a Zoom with how many can get on the Zoom. Right. And sometimes it's like, okay, we got enough. I can't see you. We got 60 of you little kids on here, but they all grown now.
Right. Oh,
so, but it was so fulfilling on Mother's Day. Oh my God, Pitt calls and I can't go anywhere on Mother's Day because they all calling and happy Mother's Day, this, that, and even Father's Day. Because some say you are the mother and the father, Aunt Hattie. So they called me on Father's Day. The first time they did, it's like, this is Father's Day, not Mother's Day. They say, you are my mother and my father. Wow. So, but anyway, it just, when you make a sacrifice, and I did not know I'm going to live this long. I don't know if I would have cashed in my retirement. The Lord knew what he wanted me to do. But we had 3 boys' homes. And one in Baltimore City, one in Baltimore County, and one in Montgomery County. I built a brand new $4 million house in Montgomery County from the ground up, swimming pool, tennis court, the whole 9 yards. And these young men, I know when the politician said to me when I went to get some money from the state, they said, you building this for foster boys? I said, yes. They're going to end up in jail anyway, so just like putting money in the black hole. I said, and I voted for you. And that's what you think all of these kids going to end up in jail. That's why you all can put money in a new jail, but you can't see beyond that. When I said 100% of my boys in my 2 homes go to college, and that's why I have a scholarship fund at Norfolk State for my foster boys to go to college, and all the money from my books. This is my first book, Driven to Succeed. That's on Amazon. And the other one is a cookbook. And Marissa can tell you about the cookbook. By growing up in the country before the schools closed, everything came from the garden.
Yes.
Nothing, everything. We cooked everything from the orchard and the garden, and to kill the pigs and the chickens and got the eggs and the butter. And so I didn't have a candy bar till I left to go to Norfolk. I was 11 years old and I had a candy bar. Because otherwise, you want something sweet, go get an apple off the tree, go get a peach, go get some blackberries and strawberries and so on. So my cookbook is, it's Aunt Hattie's cookbook, Southern Comfort Food Favorites. And those are some of the favorite ones. All my family wants me to cook, cook this. And my professors at Coppin State, every time we had a faculty meeting, they want to bring your mac and cheese, you're going to bring your bread pudding, you want to bring your chili. I said, you are going to have a meeting or eating. You got IBM, you're going to have information between meals. So everybody loves my cooking. I love to cook. It's good therapy. So it's amazing. But my cooking, they call it soul food, but soul food the healthy way. And I talk about what you shouldn't cook with. I saw a recipe online today. These beautiful cookies, and first thing they said is mix some Crisco with the. I said, oh, okay, there goes. Crisco is not even a food. So in the back of my book, I talk about all these things that you shouldn't
Yes.
use, margarine and Crisco and so on, and talk about why. So
Yeah.
it's just amazing how you can cook healthy but still have soul food as well.
Yeah, and her books are in Spanish as well. And
Yeah.
so
Well, the Driven to Succeed is in Spanish, not the cookbook.
okay.
Yeah.
So Driven to
I
Succeed.
definitely need that. I need that cookbook.
Yeah, and you need to visit Aunt Hattie.
That too.
With yeah,
Check,
I mean, Kate
check
came
out the
in.
website. When you get a chance, www.driven2succeed.com. Driven, the number two, succeed.com.
Okay.
But yeah,
Awesome.
I think
Yeah,
we have a sale on now for Women's History Month on both of the books.
yeah. So I mean, and just incredible. I mean, she's justified in beyond justified in making that cookbook because the food is amazing, delicious. Some things, and I said this all the time. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was not something that I would have thought would have been a dessert. I just would not have thought of it as being a dessert. I've always eaten it with salt and pepper, but never with the brown sugar and everything else that you put in there. Was just amazing. Every meal.
What was that?
I don't remember exactly what it was. I'll find it.
Was it stewed tomatoes?
Yes, it was. It was the
Stewed
tomatoes.
tomatoes.
It was the tomatoes. That's it. I said,
Oh my! Oh, that's the
it's
country.
a dessert. Oh my God. It was so.
My goodness, yes, stewed
Oh, it
tomatoes.
was good. It was good. Everything was good. I mean, everything. Biscuits, everything was good. I ate for days, and she cooked for days, and we talked for days. And so, just a blessing. And you could see just in this short period of time, just the legacy that Dr. Washington has created and a blessing. And by all means, feel free to connect with each other and have longer conversations, etc. We're at the we're at the bottom of the hour. I do want to take a little bit of time and say, what are your closing thoughts? This has been amazing. We'll start with Dr. Reed. We'll go to Walker, then we'll go to Clark, and then we'll go to Dr. Paris, and then Aunt Hattie, we're going to close out with you. So,
Okay.
Dr. Reed, just share your thoughts. We did the book Confident and Sexy. I'm breaking all the rules. And a lot of times when people read that title, and I did it the way that I did it because it was intentional. Some women have an issue with being sexy. We have made things taboo. We made sex taboo when God created it. So how is it perverted? I don't even understand it. And then we're wondering why our young people are confused about it, feel shame about it. And they don't realize that it is beautiful. But the book is not about confident and sexy. It's about the sisterhood. And the rules that I'm breaking is I'm going to speak nice to you. And you're going to learn in the long run that I'm not weak because I'm being nice to you. I'm being nice to you because that's the kind of person I am. I love you, and I don't have to know you a long time because I love you through the love of God. The love that God has so overwhelmingly poured into my heart, I'm going to give it to you, honey. And you can receive it or you don't have to. I'm like my daddy. It's free will. And so Confident Sexy, I'm breaking all the rules, is about the sisterhood. And this is what this celebrating women is me saying, I love you guys. My heart is that I want to see you doing great things. I want to see you tap into and unleash your unlimited potential. And so with that being said, I'm going to pivot it over to the pivot coach, Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed, take it away. Walker, Clark, Paris, Washington.
Yes, I am the pivot coach. And what that means is I help women transition out of the ideology that they have to give themselves away in order to be valued, because that breeds physiological manifestations, which are the diseases that go bump in the night as we get older, right? And so, what I would take away from this experience is we were honored for the work that we've already done, but that is a charge to continue the work and to take it higher, right? We can't stop and rest on our laurels because there's so much work to be done. And so, as we continue to do this work, this day represents a milestone for us to be propelled higher, because many are called and few are chosen. I consider all of us chosen for such a time as this. So thank you for the opportunity. I am available to connect with any woman who wants to speak with me. My website is drstephanieyhp.com. And my books are on Amazon. If you type in Dr. Stephanie, all 5 of my books will pop in. So I can't wait to connect with all of you and to reestablish a good relationship with the women on this platform. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and for one of the top 20 to be chosen. And I am very, very grateful for that. And I will tell you, and as I mentioned earlier, gratitude, having that gratitude of attitude is something that actually we can pull ourselves from the pits of failure or whatever the case may be. But having that sense of gratitude and also knowing that you are special, you are worthy, and no matter what the successes, no matter what the pitfalls, you have everything you need within you. Sometimes you just need to unleash it. Turn that spark into a flame, because every one of us has unique skills and abilities. And I'm a big advocate for an acronym that I use on a regular basis, and that is LNT. And I had someone tell me one time, because I always ask in my trainings, what does LNT stand for? And someone said, lettuce and tomato. And I said, I'm like, no, not really. And I hear a lot of different things, but I use this, and this is part of my brand as well. But I use LNT for simply having the willingness to learn new things. And if we're willing to learn new things about ourselves interpersonally, then we begin to grow interpersonally. Take that time to be, as Marissa said, introspective. We all need to take that time to do that. Find out, because what I realized was everything I've done, all my education, my master's, everything I've done, all my experiences, whether they were personal experiences or professional experiences, have led me to here and now. So take that willingness to be introspective. Look over your past. Find those commonalities. Understand what your skills and abilities are, and allow that to grow. Don't worry about other people's opinions, because everybody's got one. But over and above all of that, allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to take that time to learn new things about yourself, because when we do that, we not only grow personally, we enhance our relationships, and we grow professionally as well. You are always in a state of becoming, and know that you will never get it done, but always keep working toward being your greatest, truest, highest, and best self. And I want to thank all of you. It has been a pleasure getting to know each and every one of you. I want to connect with all of you. And I thank you, Marissa, again for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
Oh my God, it's amazing. You're amazing, Terry. Courtney, you're up. You got to take yourself off mute.
So I would say my takeaway is surrounding yourself with powerful women. Surround yourself with women who are leaders. Feel so that you can heal yourself. Know who you are. Love who you are. Trust that and walk in that. Know that you all have a God-given purpose here on earth. And when you choose to walk in your purpose, man, you become unstoppable. And like Miss Walker said, not let anyone deter you from where God is taking you, because there will be pitfalls and there will be failures. Life is full of lessons and experiences. So we don't have to look at every bad thing that we went through as something bad. It was an experience. It was an experience that didn't quite feel good, but you have to turn that pain into purpose. So with that being said, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to, meet you guys, and I learned something from each and every one of you. And I'm very honored for this. And I'm going to continue to lead and walk in my purpose and lead the next woman to come behind me and stand next to me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, 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 yes. And so
Yes.
much has been said. So much has been said. All I can say is, it's the benediction. We can get a benediction because it's time to go. I ain't got nothing to say. Girl, look, y'all ladies have summed it all up, and I ditto every bit of it. I am so just delighted and excited that I'm sitting here, and I'm just so honored, to be amongst you all, because you all are so bright. We all are bright, and I know we wear so many hats. We
Yes.
wear so many hats, but we get the job done.
Yes.
We get the job done, and that comes from how we were either raised, where we have been in our environment, in our community, our parents, our relatives, whoever raised you. And I'm telling you, God has been gracious to us. He makes no mistakes. We see each other as sisters. First of all, we should see each other as sisters, because the climate that we're living in now, ladies, we need each other.
Yes.
We have to stay connected. We need more of these because it's inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful to this. I mean, my mom always taught me, always watch what you're doing, because you never know who's watching you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You never know who's watching you. So do what you need to do and walk in that light. Be that light so people can see your light, and have that heart so people can know your heart. Because God looks on the heart, man looks on the outward appearance.
Yep.
So I have that heart for people. And if
Yes.
you don't have heart for people, then you are not in a position to receive the blessings that God has for you. You have to have a heart for people. And so
Yes.
this is why I believe I'm here today. This is why I believe I'm amongst these great women. Being honored, it's an honor to be honored. And I'm telling you, Marissa, you have something here. You really do, because I didn't expect this. You know what I'm saying? I just go along about my day and mind my own black business. Look, I promise you, I just do what I do because I know that God has a part in all of our lives, and I'm just walking in the purpose. I ask Him to walk with me every day and order my steps.
Yes. Yes.
Just order my steps, God, and anything that I'm doing, let it be pleasing to you,
Yes.
and that I'll be able to go through some doors that I never knew that I could go through.
Yes. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to make some things happen that I didn't even think I had the courage enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That right there.
And because we have to step out on faith, we got to step out in our boldness. We got to step out even afraid. We just
Yes.
have to do it. And so
Yes.
this is what I've been walking by faith. And I'm telling you, faith doesn't even cost a dime. You just got to walk in it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You just walk in it. And when you walk in it, things begin to happen.
Yes, they do.
Opportunities become to happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so that means that people see things in you you may not even see in yourself. A lot of people see things in you you may not even see in yourself. And so
Yes.
that's why we have to just be, Hattie, you said the word earlier, be humble
Yes. Humble.
and walk in humility, because this is what is going to always follow you.
Yes.
People can see one way that if you're humble or if you're not humble. They can see if you're smiling or if you have that personality where you don't even care. People see who you are and they notice who you are.
Yes.
So I really believe that this is a time, that this climate that we're in, that God has given us the opportunity now to do some things, make it happen, because otherwise we're forced to, some things we're forced to do.
Yes.
But we're at a position now, I think it's just turning around. We can't go back. We have to go forward. We have to go forward. So, ladies, I hope we stay connected. I
Yes.
hope to have all of you on our Four Sisters live show so that we can continue the conversation
Yes.
because there is so much to be said. Like Unhattie said, we have the Sister for Sisters Network where all of us are entrepreneurs in our own right. We're business women and we're doing a lot to make a difference in our community. And that's where we should all be striving for to make a difference in our community. So it's time for us to live in our purpose and walk in it and make a difference into what we can do so that when we leave this earth, we have left a legacy.
Yes.
A true
Yes.
legacy. And I want to say one last thing. We talked about young people. I have a heart for young people. I have a heart for young girls. And that's why I started my production, my stage play, Then Sings My Soul. Then Sings My Soul is a stage play I started over 7 years ago, which talked about how we deal with women in abuse. And we so my purpose was to definitely make sure that I work with young girls to help them understand that they are loved.
Yes.
And they don't have to live in abuse. So I want to be able to continue to have that, and that'll be my legacy of working with young girls so they will understand that they are women and they are queens.
Yes.
And they should definitely, know that they are loved and walking in their purpose as well. So thank you again for this opportunity. And I'm getting ready to go get on my gate because they're calling my gate down.
Safe travels. Have fun. Blessings.
Have a safe trip.
Okay, love.
Bye. See you all
Good.
soon.
Good
Bye-bye.
timing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good timing.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was awesome.
Yes. But when things happen in life, and sometimes we get so discouraged and we get so frustrated. But as you get older, you say to yourself, okay, Lord, stop playing. Oh, what was that for? Try to see a message in everything that happens in life because I didn't know it then. But if certain things had not happened, if they hadn't closed the schools, not that it was a good thing, I probably would have stayed down in Virginia and got married, one of those country boys, and raised some chickens and some pigs and been down there like some of my friends are now. So you just never know what the Lord has in store for you. So as you get older, try to tell young people, don't get frustrated. Try to see what the Lord is trying to say to you. And what is for you is for you, not
Yes.
for anyone else. So just to sum it up, Marissa, I want to thank you also for the honor. I want to commend all of the other wonderful women that I've met today, and I can see why you were chosen. Because each person has something unique about you that I can take away as a piece, and you fulfill your life of things you don't even know that you need until you come across it and you say, oh, it's like going shopping. You don't need a thing, but you see that dress and, oh, that's exactly what I needed. You didn't really need it, but if you had not gone, you wouldn't have met that dress. And now you can wear it to this, the other. So it's sort of in conclusion, with Terry and Dr. Stephanie and Lou Courtney. I'm calling her Lou because she reminds me of my niece. Just the spirit, the positive spirit and synergy of everyone. And if I could just my concluding comments, I would take the word "own it," which is the beautiful magazine. The O for women is opportunities out there that we used not have the opportunity to accomplish some of those. But back in the day, I couldn't have a credit card. Everything had to be in my father's name or my husband's name. I didn't have any credit at all until, in 1983. So opportunities out there for women that we can take advantage of, and we do need to take advantage of the opportunities. The W in own is winners. We got to see ourselves as winners, not losers of that having somebody to discover us. There's a saying, you create winners. You don't pick winners, you create winners. So you can create winners of yourself And all of those people you touch, you create the winner in them. And then N is never give up. As Melissa said, if I had given up and it said, oh, you got to pay, or you got to get your aunt to sign this form, and she said, no, if I had just given up, and all the things in life, if you think about the things in your life, if you had just given up
Yes.
without turning that roadblock into a detour,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where we got to look at life. It's a stumbling block. And so we got to look at it. It may take you longer to get there, but you just get there. Then the it is integrity. You got to know who you are and whose you are. You don't let anybody change you. When you say, no, I'm not going to drink. No, I'm not going to smoke. No, I'm not going to. You mean it. You don't care if they like you or not. You look in the mirror, you like yourself. You
Right.
don't try to go along to get along. I tell my grandkids, don't be a follower. You be the leader. If you're the
Yes.
only one that's going this way, then you keep going that way. And pretty soon somebody's going to come and follow you. So make sure you have the integrity. And then the T in it is tenacity. And boy, us women, we got that persistence, determination to go all the way. We got to be persistent and persevere. And we got it as women. But sometimes men don't give you that chance. When I was the first female vice president, everybody, who does she know? She must be some kin to this. But I was in charge of raising money. So my goal was to raise $3 million in 5 years. I gladly raised $8 million and handed it over to them. Now you can say, who do I know? I know the man above. That's who I know. So when you try to figure out who females are, everywhere you go, we got to prove ourselves and reprove ourselves and prove ourselves again. Because people assume you don't know. You're DEI. You are hired. You're a token. You don't really know what you're doing. And you got to keep proving yourself. So it took me about 3 years for them to know that I knew what the heck I was doing. But I really didn't. But the Lord really guided me through that process because he gave me the position. So I said, Lord, you gave me this position, so I know you're not going to leave me. So I didn't want it. My president had to say, Washington, just give it a try. No, I don't. I like being a professor. I like teaching teachers. Well, give it a try. Please give it a try. So I said, try on one condition. If I don't like it, I want to go back and be a professor at the salary of being the vice president. Because I didn't really want it, so I didn't think he was going to say yes. So he said, yeah, okay. So I took the job, and then we were very successful. So own it. And I don't know what you call it, but those are the words that I see us women as we work together, collaborate together, communicate together, and coordinate our resources together. We can certainly do whatever we want to do because we will own it, because we created these winners and that we supported each other. And I just love the way you pull everything together, Marissa. So thank you so much for the honor. It's my great, great pleasure to meet everybody here on the panel and all of the other honorees. Praise God.
Praise God. Praise God. Well, I'm not going to add to that. And I'm going to study this tape. I gotta go back to the bean. What is that? The beautiful bean footage. and I'm gonna be watching for the OWNIT because I was so engulfed in listening to you that I didn't take a note. I'm just like listening intently because it's wisdom. It's wisdom, and that's what we need in Women Celebrating Women is to pass on that information, to pass on the wisdom, because too often we think, and it was just this week that I had the epiphany that, you know what, Marisa, you think things are common sense, and you think that everybody should be, that this should be norm for people, but common sense has been tossed out the window. People are not even operating in common, and it's crazy that they're not. And so when you say, when you shared something where it says, listen, stop allowing others to, I do a talk and a presentation on who's in your boardroom. Who are you allowing? You're the CEO of your life. It's time to make executive decisions. When does it become time is of the essence? It's time to make executive decisions. Who's in your boardroom? Who are you allowing to govern your behavior, to tell you how to think, to tell you what you can and cannot do? Who are you allowing to do that? Because too often, just by unconsciousness and unconscious behavior, if someone you have any level of respect for tells you no, you shouldn't do that, you're automatically saying, well, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I shouldn't do that. And you're self-sabotaging. So if you look at the Own It Women's Magazine and you see those powerful warrior women in the book, they're saying, I am. and it says, I will unleash.
Yes.
A declaration to say, no more will I listen and be swayed. And so, you know, you gave so much wisdom in that. All of us here are powerhouses. That's why you were looked at. You were thought of immediately. And then it bubbled over into, wow, how many contacts, how many connections, Marisa, do you really have that deserve this spotlight, that needs that reinforcement that says, sister, no, you're right. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm going to be here, and we're going to be here to say to you, we see you and we celebrate you. And we want you to know that there's love and there's healthy sisterhood relationships. We don't have to do the toxic drama and trauma stuff. We can do, girl, we having a good time. Girl, what you say? I had a very good session with Sabine and Tiffany and Dr. Lotus this morning. And the whole time we're doing, whoa, whoa, because we're excited and we're celebrating and we're mind shifting. We're changing our language and our words. That was a powerful session to start off the day. And this is a beautiful and powerful way to, I know for me, to end my day in the public eye, because I'm getting ready to go in and do what I love doing behind the scenes. And so I just want to say, I celebrate each and every one of you. It is a pleasure and a treasure. I'm just so, this is making my day. Like, to celebrate you guys is making my day. Courtney, did you get all your contacts? Because you know I'm making sure everybody gave you what you need, baby. You got it?
Yes, ma'am. I took a picture.
That's it. Yeah. I see you taking a picture. I just need to make sure little Courtney, because you are baby.
Yes, we got to take care of Courtney. Is Courtney going to be in the Dominican Republic?
No, she's not going to be in the Dominican Republic. Yeah. But we can, Courtney, we can bring you in. We can have a satellite session with you, honey.
Where are you, Courtney? Where do you live?
Georgia.
Oh, that's not too far. I have a niece in Georgia.
She's in Atlanta or where?
She's oh darn it. It's not Atlanta, but not too far from Atlanta.
Okay, I'm 2 hours below Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where. Can I make an announcement, Marissa, about I have two books that are coming out this year. One is the 5th anniversary of the Driven to Succeed, will be Driven to Succeed and Beyond.
Oh, wow.
More lessons learned through faith, family, favor, and focus. And that will be coming out. And then I have a trilogy, 3 books together. Excellence is expected from everyone. Wow. Effective strategies to teach all kids to achieve and succeed. That's for teachers. Then I have another book for parents, how to teach all kids to be driven to succeed. And one for students themselves. So it'll be a trilogy, a bundle, they call it. 3 books in one for teachers, one for students, and one for parents. Because I truly believe that all kids are gifted.
Yes.
Even if they're in special education. They're gifted in something. There are 13 factors of giftedness. My professor, Renzulli, University of Chicago, talked about 13 factors of giftedness. And most schools only look at the academic giftedness, or they look at the sports, if you're good in football, basketball, and so on, but they don't look at all of the other areas that kids can be gifted in. So I want parents and teachers to know, find the gift. I have this assessment that I do when I finish kids at least 3 factors of giftedness, and you teach to their strength, not to their weakness. With the academic giftedness, most people teach to their weakness. Oh, you're not gifted. You special education, this, that, and that. So those 3 books would be very helpful, particularly now that they're getting rid of the Department of Education. And teachers in states are pretty much on their own. And I used to work at the Maryland State Department of Education, by the way. I used to evaluate superintendents who had Title I, Chapter 1 programs in their school system. And they're getting rid of that. And I taught special education. So I need to let administrators, teachers, and parents know right now how you can make sure those kids are gifted and they rise to the occasion of high expectation.
Oh, wow.
So they'll be coming out sometime this year, and Marissa will be letting you know. And if you send me your email, I can put you on my mailing list, and you become one of my, I call my village of supporters.
Yes.
And my followers, friends, and fans.
I love it. Followers, friends, and fans. Love it, love it, love it. It has been such a pleasure and a treasure. Like I said, I'm so excited, so blessed to be able to be in a position to honor each and every one of you, and just love you all, and can't wait, because we have to continue this conversation, because if we're going an hour and a half long, that means that there's still some stuff, and we only scratch the surface. Right. We haven't even gone in deep. And so I'm looking forward to celebrating throughout the year. Everyone, take care, be blessed. We love you, and we are out.